I got a clip from the Adam Silver press conference y'all are definitely going to want to watch. There's a reporter asking Adam Silver about his comments that he said in regards to the NBA being a parody league. Nonetheless, he was trying to talk about the competition, and the conversation went into an interesting direction where it was really about the media. And Adam Silver was emphasizing that with all the new options that we have with the media, social media to be exact, that it's important for the NBA to stay very competitive, basically because they have a lot of other competitors out there when it comes to entertainment, people watching what they want to watch instead of the NBA, for example. This led into Adam Silver's philosophy of every team being able to truly compete for a championship, or at least be a team that you don't know who could win depending on the matchups if you let your guard down. And he talks about things that they did in the collective bargaining agreement to make sure that you had this level of competition throughout the NBA. His whole philosophy behind it is that if you only have one or two teams that are dominated, let's say in a big market, it's not better for the overall brand of the NBA, because now you have all these other fan bases who are not interested as much since they don't believe that they could win. And he basically brings up Victor Wembanyama as an example of this creation that has happened. I'm about to play y'all the clip now in a few moments. As you're watching, I would ask you to think, is this good for the NBA where you have every single team that can win as opposed to two or three powerhouses that could really go for a championship? Without further ado, here we go.
You've said a number of times that you think parity is a worthwhile endeavor for the league, and you call it the parity of opportunity. How much of that has to do with the new media ecosystem and the league trying to find a way to operate within that and creating ways for fans to tune in?
To the extent we're building the best league with the best competition in a highly competitive media environment, there's never been more competition. I mean, and we're competing against every other form of media. I mean, putting aside the attraction arena business, that there are truly unlimited options. So you've got to put your best foot forward all the time. And if you only have a few teams in the league, I won't say it was that extreme in the so-called old days, but there were certainly fewer teams that were competitive, and they're driving all your interest, that you're you know, almost by definition, you're going to have fewer fans following you. Fans of those markets aren't going to feel they're in a position to compete. So as you said, it's not necessarily artificial parity where we keep moving the chips around and say we want to go into every season and make sure every team has an equal chance. It is, you know, parity of opportunity in that you want each team to be in a position where, if well managed, they're in a position to compete. Now, there's things we put in place in the collective bargaining agreement and through successive agreements we think that help level the competition to a certain degree. Maybe again, this is a little different from the old days. I think there was a sense then that there were certain markets you needed to get to if you really wanted to be a big star. Victor Wembanyama going to San Antonio, which is, of course, relative to other markets in this league, a smaller market. I don't think anybody's out there saying there's a ceiling on Victor Wembanyama's popularity because he's playing in San Antonio as opposed to a bigger market.
Here's the reality of the situation. Maybe this won't matter as much if you're already winning, what I'm about to say, but Disney is one of the media partners with the NBA. ESPN is under Disney. I'm sure a lot of y'all watch ESPN. And one of the things I noticed, and I think other people notice as well, is there's select teams and players that they will talk about. In other words, if you are a fan of a small market team, especially if you don't really have a superstar, even if your team is winning, doing really great, chances are a platform like ESPN won't give you a full-length conversation or debate around what your team is doing. Most of the coverage and spotlight will always go to the teams historically that already have a huge fan base built up within the NBA, a Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers. Then on top of that, you have a guy like LeBron James playing for a team that's already known, period, throughout history. It's just like a win-win for them. And as a result, if you're a small market team or all the other markets out there in the NBA, in my opinion, they don't get marketed as much or as they should. So it's still not really a parity league, as Adam Silver would say, when it comes to coverage at least. This also leads back into the whole debate with the face of the league, who's going to be the next person when somebody like LeBron James retires, a Steph Curry. And as I was saying before, if your team is winning, maybe you won't care about that face of the league special treatment that other guys will get from their popularity. But there is a strong sentiment out there with other fan bases when their team is doing good, in particular a certain player, and they get upset when they think that player is not getting the credit that they deserve. Or that sentiment could arise if they believe their team is not getting enough attention given their success that they're having on the court. Let me know how y'all feel about this whole philosophy Adam Silver was laying out. I will admit to you that I like when I go into an NBA season not knowing who exactly is going to win the championship. A whole conversation could be talked about how you go about creating that fairness in the league and if they're taking the right steps to it. But overall, yes, I don't like things being just totally obvious. You let me know how you feel in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. Always salute for listening, and peace.